Welcome to the chat with Selasie. Today we are delving into the world of skincare with a very special guest, Candice Daniels, who is not only passionate about skin health but also a skilled esthetician. We will be tackling an important question. Are you truly taking care of your skin? And do you have a proper skincare routine? With Candice's expertise, we'll break down the difference, share professional insight, and offer tips that can help you achieve a healthy, glowing skin. Get ready to uncover the secret to truly caring for your skin and perhaps learn how to elevate your routine to the next level. This episode is sure to leave you inspired and informed. Enjoy! Oh, let me say this before I forget. Candice is my esthetician, and she has been a blessing to me and my skin. So I am so happy you said yes to come here and share with my audience and the
Thanks for
people out
having
there.
me. Thanks for
Thank
having me.
you. How are you feeling this
I'm
morning?
I'm good.
You're
Yeah,
good. You were
yeah.
saying you're a little nervous.
Yeah, I'm definitely nervous, but it's a good nervous. It's different, I'm outside the treatment room,
Yeah.
so but it's always nice to have a chance to talk more about skincare because I can do that for days. So
Good, good. And also, this is just Candice and Selasie, having a chat, in the treatment room, the way we have our little chats and stuff like that. So just ignore the lights and
yeah.
the cameras and try to ignore them.
Right.
Yeah. Let's go straight in, Candice.
Mhm.
What brought you into skincare? Because I remember when I was looking for an esthetician,
Mhm.
and I told you this, is that I read different profiles of
Mhm.
different estheticians, but yours really spoke to me. It resonated with me because you used to have, challenges with your skin
Mhm.
growing up.
Mhm.
And I have challenges with my
Yeah.
skin growing up until now.
Yeah.
So I needed an esthetician that will understand the background of my skin
Mhm.
and possibly who could also relate
Right.
and who wasn't like treating skin with um, aggressive ingredients.
Mhm.
And I am so glad that I found you because, oh my God, you are
Oh.
more than what I expected,
Oh.
you know, and beyond. So I'm so glad.
Yay.
So tell me, what brought you into skincare?
I feel like it started when I was a kid, but I didn't realize it until I got into an adult. But as a kid, I had like problematic skin, so I had like eczema. I really had like a bunch of like hyperpigmentation all over my legs, like over my whole body. And so my mother, she's like the ultimate glam girl, and so she would always be like, "Use this product, use this," and she like was the one who made me aware of ingredients. So as a kid, she'll like introduce new products to me, like it has this ingredient, so start using this. I don't know, 2 times a day. She was like holding me accountable for using these products because my skin was like that bad. And so, of course, I got to an age where my skin kind of cleared up and everything was fine. And when I got like 21, I believe, my skin just kind of like broke out. So basically, it just reverted back to what I was going through as a child. And so nothing I was using was working, but I was remembering like, just little ingredients my mom would tell me like cocoa butter or just small things like that. So I started to make my own skincare products. And so that's what like piqued the interest when it came to skincare ingredients. So I had like my first skincare business. It was called Mother of Earth. It was all plant-based, holistic skincare products. And I did that for about 2, 3 years. And it started off with me just like making the products for myself, and then I was just like sending them to friends and family because I was bored, and all of them was just like, girl, this is amazing, it cleared my eczema or whatever. It like really was helping them. And so my ex-husband at the time was just like, why don't you sell these to other people and like actually like make it a business? And so I did, and it went really well. And then I met an esthetician at a networking event who also was familiar with my products, and she was just like, you should become an esthetician, you're like passionate about skincare. She was like, it's very obvious that you're like dedicated to like helping people have better skin. And so I was just like, okay. And I just went to school for it. And I'm here now.
Hmm. So it wasn't like growing up, you wanted to be an esthetician.
No, yeah, no.
So having a problematic skin or having eczema
Mm-hmm.
led you into, knowing like skincare
Mm-hmm.
ingredients and all that. And then you created your own line.
Yeah.
And then you went to a skincare conference. And then
Mm-hmm.
someone told you that, oh, you have interest in this. You
Mm-hmm.
should become an esthetician.
Yeah.
You were like, okay, I'm going to
Yeah.
try
Yeah.
this.
I had no clue an esthetician, like I didn't even know that career existed growing up. So I didn't hear about it till I was like 21 until I met like my mentor. Like I remember like starting to see about it because when I started making skincare products, that's when I started to like, do my research. And then I saw like other people who were formulators, but they were estheticians, and that's what made me look into it. And so when I met my mentor and she brought that up, I was like, oh, this is a career path. Because at the time I was just a bartender, I was waiting tables, and I was still running like my skincare business, but that's just all I was doing. So it really like, I guess, let me know that this was actual a career choice and a path that I could go into.
Well, I'm glad you said yes to
Yes.
your mentor because you have done an amazing thing for my skin. So
Thank
I'm so
you.
glad you said yes to your
Yeah.
mentor. And not just me, I've recommended some friends to you,
Yeah.
and I'm sure I've recommended some more people. So hopefully they will come. But one friend that I really recommend, she
Mhm.
loves you. She's in
Yeah.
love with you,
Yeah.
because she says that Candice doesn't only know what she's doing, but she actually listens,
Mhm.
and I think that
Mhm.
is one of your superpowers
Yeah.
is that you listen to your clients.
Yeah.
You don't let them feel like I know
Yeah.
more than you. You
Yeah.
listen because you let us know, or you let us believe that it's your skin
Mhm.
and you know your skin better.
Yeah, yeah. I believe like that's the best thing. I think for me as a person, I believe like empowerment. I feel like the more you know yourself, the better you're able to navigate through the world. And I really feel like for me in this career, my job is just to kind of be a guide to help you get closer to knowing yourself on another level, which is with your skin. You know, our skin can like really alter how we feel about showing up in the world. And so if I can provide some tools or just a little advice, or a space for you to just have to where it's all about you and you get to focus on your skin in this hour and a half, then that's just what I'm here for. Because, I feel like my path, my journey, like my career is ever evolving, it's ever changing, right? Maybe one day I might decide to retire. I don't want, you know, your skin to suffer because all you've gotten was treatments from me, but you don't know how to take care of your skin. And so I've learned that in my time of being an esthetician that people who like know their skin, they feel more empowered, they feel more confident. And I love when my clients are like, yeah, my skin was breaking out, but I used this product and I switched it up and I went back to this and now I'm fine. And I'm just like, that's great. Like, I actually helped you like have the power to like know like, okay, let me do this, let me switch it up instead of just like waiting and let me talk to Candice first. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to be a crutch. I want to be something that can really excel you forward as a person and as a woman. And so that to me is what's more important.
I love that. I love that statement. At the end of the day, I don't want to be your crutch. Let's talk about makeup being a crutch.
Yes.
Right? You all, Candice is not wearing makeup right now. Like, this is her face. She has zero makeup on right now. I bet you. Candice, are you wearing makeup?
No.
She has a of course, she's prepped her skin. She has a moisturizer and she has a sunscreen on. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and so that's the thing. As a kid, I did like eyeshadow, mascara. I still do that stuff, but I even learned like that was a crutch for me. Like I didn't like the fact that if I didn't have mascara on, I didn't feel confident to walk out the house. And so I could just imagine how some people, it takes time out one of your day to constantly have to apply makeup and just really alter how you look. And I believe makeup should be used as an enhancement, but it shouldn't be a crutch. And
Yes.
unfortunately, it is a crutch because you're not taking the time out to really learn your skin and yourself. And at the end of the day, when you take all that makeup off, you're left with just having you and your bare skin. And so if you don't feel empowered enough to, for one, take time out to make it better or invest into that, then you're just going to continue to take the cheaper route out, but it's never going to lead you to that path of like really being confident and comfortable with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally feel like as women, we all deserve to be confident and comfortable with ourselves.
Yes.
I honestly feel like it makes the world better. The more women are confident and comfortable, I feel like it just makes just the communities better, us better, our children better, our spouses. It just makes everything better.
Yeah.
So I try my best to like persuade people or help them find other ways to feel confident within themselves instead of using crutches because it never pays off in the long run.
I really like the connection you made between you as an esthetician and then your client, and then also the makeup and the individual, that you don't want to be a crutch. You want to be someone who empowers you. You want to be someone who teaches you, so that when you are not there, you still feel confident about your skin. You know how to take care of your skin. I remember when I was in college, I have a friend. I mean, I've met people like that in life, but this particular friend I remember so vividly. And I've had family members like that too. But I have a friend who will not go out without makeup. Like in college, I will, I'll look good, I'll dress up, I'll make sure I look presentable, but makeup has never been my thing. It's
Right.
just I will wear makeup on, like, you know, to church
Yeah.
on like special occasions, but I didn't used to wear makeup to lectures.
Right.
Just makeup sitting on my face the whole day. I
Yeah.
just couldn't,
Yeah.
I don't know. It
Yeah.
just wasn't my thing. Um, but also because I was lazy.
Yeah. Same.
I felt lazy putting on makeup and having to, take time to put it on and also take time to take it off. That was a lot for me. But I admire people. Like, we are not saying there's nothing wrong with makeup, putting on
No.
makeup. We just want you to believe that you are still beautiful without the makeup, especially
Yeah.
if you're taking great care of your skin.
Yeah.
So makeup should be an enhancer. Makeup
Mhm.
shouldn't be your crutch. Makeup shouldn't be,
Mhm.
I don't feel beautiful
Yeah.
without makeup. I was telling a friend, oh, anyway, let me finish this story. That friend of mine would not go out without makeup.
Mhm.
But gradually, she started going out without makeup. And I mean, now she loves it. She
That's
loves, she's like,
awesome.
this is so easy. Like,
Yeah.
I can just get up and, wash my face or whatever and then go
Mhm.
out. And now I've actually introduced her to some skincare and stuff like that. So she is like taking care of her skin so much. And I feel like the more she does it, the more confident she
Yeah.
feels without putting on the makeup.
Mhm.
People, and I'm one of those
Mhm.
people who used to believe that taking care of your skin could be very expensive or can be
Mhm.
very expensive.
Mhm.
And over the years, there's something my friends and I say, like, oh, if you see a wealthy person or a rich person, you will see it from their skin.
Yep.
Their skin just looks so
Mhm.
supple, so succulent. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know, it just looks so juicy and
Yeah.
so yummy. If you like, you don't see stress on it,
Right. Yep.
you know. And yes, I think a part of it is that they may not have financial stress,
Mhm.
but also they take great care of their skin,
Yeah.
not just on the outside, but also from
Within.
within. So,
Mhm.
can we talk a little bit about that? Because now, I don't think that you have to be rich
Mhm.
to have some sort of skincare
Mhm.
routine or some
Mhm.
sort of skincare. You don't have to be rich to take care of your skin
Yeah.
properly. So
Mhm.
can you tell us more about that? Do we have to be rich, or is skincare expensive? Is there a cheap skincare? Like, how can someone out there who is not able to afford some moisturizers, you and I know some product
Yeah.
that can be like 100 and something
Yeah.
dollars, but a little bit of moisturizer,
Mhm.
who's not able to afford? How can someone like that take care of their skin? Like someone in college, someone in high
Mhm.
school, a single mother or a single
Mhm.
parent out there take care of their skin without using so much.
I feel like it's multiple factors. There's something out there for everybody, right?
Mhm.
I feel like the first step is realizing that to be your best self, it's an investment regardless. So if you want to have healthy skin, it's going to require an investment in financially and time wise. So
Mhm.
I feel like that's always the first thing I like to make it clear to people. Now, how much you're willing to invest, of course, it won't alter the results, but it's kind of like one of those things if you have to use the resources you have. So as we know, there's drugstore product lines, sold at Walmart, Target, Ulta, things of that nature. It really comes down to ingredients. So if you have like acne prone skin, I mean, you have to really be mindful of the fact that salicylic acid might be that salicylic acid or benzoyl peroxide. Not saying that expensive products are always better. It just comes down to the formulation. But I've had people who came to me who was using drugstore products and they really expressed that this is all I can really afford. They couldn't afford like the products and the treatments. They could only afford either or. And so we were able to get results, but I had to really, or like really had to basically like get their skincare routine. I really had to like formulate it perfectly for them with the products that they had, what they could afford, but it came down to the ingredients. And so I always say if you are on that route and finances is a thing, then you have to be mindful of ingredients. And on top of that, knowing what products work well with each other, because I feel like that's where a lot of people go wrong. When they try to take the cheaper route, they see like, oh, this ingredient, and they're just using all these products together and it's causing more damage than good. So it really is about being mindful of the ingredients that you're introducing, but then also knowing how to use them together. So it doesn't require money, but it does require time. And so that's what I tell people. Either you're investing with your money or time. So if you don't have the money, then you're going to have to invest in time. And if you have the time, you can do both. You have invest the time and the money, but you're going to have to invest in some way. So it's coming down to choosing what will work best for you. I'm the type of person I invest my money because I don't really I like to let the professionals do their thing. So when my hair, my nails, all of that stuff, I'll just invest my money because I feel like my time is valuable. So I will gladly invest to a professional so they can guide the way. But if you're not in that circumstances, then time you have to invest into it. But at the end of the day, I look at it as an investment into yourself. And so you can never go wrong with that.
Yeah, I really like your perspective on that. That is an investment into yourself, investing in yourself. Because I mean, if it's going to help boost your self-esteem, your self-confidence, then yes, it is an investment. I think sometimes we don't see it like that. We only see maybe going to school, buying a book, or all those serious stuff as investing in yourself, but also investing in your appearance. It's also an investment in yourself that could help you show up differently or in a more powerful way. So I really like your perspective.
Yeah, and I learned that as a cult in our culture. Like in aesthetic school, when I went to school, a lot of people looked at it like a fluffy thing. It's just something that you do when you have extra money. And so when I first got into the field and started to get clients, I would have people who would say, "Oh, I just do this as like a birthday thing yearly," and I would tell them, "I'm like, that's great, but there's so much more benefits to this than just like you relaxing, and sometimes I've had people who they would do it yearly and then they'll come it back and be like, oh, I want to do every 3 months because they're starting to learn and see like there's actually way more benefits to this than just as a relaxation. I'm actually learning. I'm actually being able to set aside more time. This actually helps me want to be more mindful about taking more than just 5 minutes into my routine. Like I have some clients who will do a full self-care day with their routine. I have some who will do 5 to 10 minutes. But either way, it's more deeper than their skin. It's actually them carving out more time for themselves. It's actually them being more mindful of what they're eating or just so many other elements to it. But culturally, when I became an esthetician, I had to learn like this is something that I also have to debunk within our culture is that facials are just not a rich person thing. Or this is not something that wealthy people do. Normal people can do this, like average, middle class, working class people, they can do this too. This is accessible. So it's a lot of things that I had to like work through and educate people when I first got into the field. And I still am, but I do feel like now in this time, like facials are kind of normal. They're not just looked at, oh, a spa day thing. They're looked at as I have an issue, I have a concern. Let me go here instead of going to a dermatologist. So it's been a very I would say educating time for myself, but then also it's requiring me to show up more because I'm also learning like my position as an esthetician and as a person.
And I'm positive that let's say if something is going on someone's skin and they come to you and they're like, okay, let me go see my esthetician about this, and they come to you and you think, oh no, you should actually see a dermatologist about this. You will recommend, you will
Of
refer,
course.
the
Yeah.
person to, oh, go see your dermatologist. This
Yeah.
is not something an esthetician,
Mhm.
could fix if it's something from within,
Right. Yep.
um you said something I really really love, that you said facials is not for rich people, it's not for
Yeah.
wealthy people. I mean, when I do get facials, because I know the schedule, we schedule weeks in advance,
Mhm.
so I know to budget for it.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
financially plan for it.
Mhm.
So getting facials is like going to the grocery store
Right.
and buying yourself some grocery for the week,
Right.
because you plan towards it.
Mhm.
So if you are intentional about taking care of your skin, you can plan for it
Yeah.
financially as well.
Yeah.
I think that the, the value people put on
Yeah.
taking care of their skin is
Mhm.
quite different.
Mhm.
If I value skincare, or if I value taking care of my skin, and I'm a like a level 10 or a level
Mhm.
7, of
Mhm.
course I will financially commit to it,
Mhm.
versus someone who, is on level 2, is like, I care about skincare, but not that much. I'd
Yeah.
rather put my money here.
Right.
So I think that when we know the benefit of skincare, what it
Mhm.
actually can do to us, and when we place value on it, our
Mhm.
money will follow. Where,
Yeah.
what we place value on, the money will
Yeah.
follow.
But unfortunately, sometimes people wait until they're in a crisis
Yeah.
to place value into their skincare.
Yeah.
And so that's some things I've had to learn, myself as an esthetician, where I'll have people where they're like, well, I was using this product for years. I've never had no problem. Then out of nowhere, now I'm starting to get this concern. And I always tell people, I'm like, yeah, because it's just our skin. We think it's fine. But it's the same thing as our body. As we get older, we change. Internally, hormones, so many things show up, right? Stress, life, and it's the same thing with our skin. But unfortunately, I think like the same way some people treat their physical bodies, they treat their skin. So they don't think about it until something drastic happens, and now they're like, I want to place value on it. But I also feel like it also is a reflection of us, like in the value that we see as ourselves as a person, because the same way like I talk about like health and wellness with my clients, like I was a vegetarian for like a couple of years. I'm like, it that comes down to the value that you believe that you deserve. If you don't feel like washing your face is not that essential, then you must not care about other things like, I don't know, drinking water daily. So at the end of the day, I always feel like it's still a reflection of like the value that you have on yourself. If you don't want to take care of your skin, it's the largest organ that we have, and it's like the first thing that people see. So it's like, why wouldn't you just want to take a little bit more time to invest into yourself so you can put your best foot forward, even in the smallest ways? So,
Mm. Yes, even in the smallest way. So you don't have to go buy the $200
no.
product out there. You can equally buy products from Walmart. But if you're
Mhm.
gonna go that route, you just have to be mindful of the ingredient, like she
Mhm.
said. I think I'm a bit of both. I
Mhm.
like to invest, and I know you know this about me. Like
Mhm.
when you recommend a product to me, I'll either buy it right away, or I'll tell you, let me go research a bit
Mhm.
about that.
Mhm.
And you know that it's not you, because I trust you,
Right.
but I also want to know. I'm very, because I love skincare, I want to also know. So
Right.
I love researching about ingredients,
Yeah.
and also having a professional,
Yeah.
paying for a professional to tell me. So I'm a bit of both.
Yeah. And I think I feel like that's awesome because I feel like you are able to trust your purchase because you are making it from an empowered place.
Yes.
And so for me, that's what I care about the most. I want you to like invest into your services, invest into your products, but from an empowered place, not from the fact of like, I don't know if it's going to work. I hope, because when you try to like force somebody to get something that they're unsure about, and sometimes they might not even produce the results because in their head they can't,
Yeah.
it's like a spiritual thing where it's kind of like in your brain you're already like second guessing it,
Yeah.
so it just won't manifest the way that you desire.
Mhm.
But I also just feel like when you can make decisions and choices from empowered places, you'll actually get what you want.
Yeah.
And so that's what I feel like I want more people to have, like when it comes to their skincare journey, it's just being more empowered so that they can make the choices and make the purchases that they need. So that way, they can get the results that they want.
Yeah, I love that. I think that, this we can bring a little bit of the law of attraction here,
Mhm.
where if I'm buying a product or if I'm going to invest in a product or someone has told me about a product, when my energy is like, oh,
Mhm.
this is going to work. Oh
Mhm.
wow, I want to try this. That's the energy I'm putting out there.
Mhm.
Therefore, when I use the product, it could actually
You
work,
could, yeah.
because my senses and everything within me believes that
Mhm.
this could work.
Mhm.
So that's how it's going to go. But sometimes if you don't believe, like, oh, nothing good will come out of this, that's how it's going to do.
Yeah.
Because sometimes something good can be coming out of it, but your mind and your
Mhm.
energy and everything of you is so filled with nothing good is going to come out of this. Therefore, even if the product is working, you're so blinded by your
Yeah.
thoughts
Mhm.
and your belief and your
Mhm.
energy,
Mhm.
so the
Yeah.
product doesn't seem like it's working.
Yeah. And in
Really like
reality,
that.
it takes time, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, some people, they could get a product or, get a facial in 30 days. They get the results they want. Some people could take 90 days. Some people, it could take a year or 2 years. But also, I feel like with law of attraction, if you are mentally in this space, you're not even going to have the patience to even notice the small changes
Yeah.
too. Because I tell people, when you have like some severe skin issues, you have to keep in mind that we're undoing years
Yes.
of work. And
Yes.
so you have to learn how to celebrate the small wins along the way.
Yeah.
I had like one client, she had like really bad acne and acne scars. And so it took us about a year and a half to kind of get her into like a really good place. But even throughout that process, like we were celebrating every small win because it's like the mindset is important. Because if you don't like celebrate those small wins, then you're just like, whatever, this is nothing, this is not going to work, I'm never going to get to where I want to be at.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's a process, it's a
Mhm.
journey. And I think also too with like skincare, it requires patience. It requires for
Mm.
you to have to show up in a different way than you have been before. And so when we were able to get to our goal, all we do is just celebrate. Every time she comes in now, we're both just like so happy and ecstatic. And we follow each other on Instagram, and she posted a picture, and I'm just like, "Girl, did you have makeup on?" And she's like, "No." And I'm like, "Oh my god!" And I remember telling her, I was at home in my bed, like zooming in. I'm like, "Wow, this is really like." So it's just like those small things. But I remember when she first came in, we were excited the fact that she didn't wasn't getting breakouts no more. That was a small win. We were excited that, like, I don't know, the texture on her forehead was starting to be a little bit more clear, but she was still having scars on her cheeks. But we were just happy that we had improvement in that one area. And I feel like when you follow those laws of attraction, like you're able to just have the experience that you want, and you're allowing yourself to go through the journey and the process just more in a healthier way. You never like want to go through it in a negative way because it just alters the process.
Yeah.
And a lot, like my client, for her, for example, she talks about how much she just learned so much about herself, like, and even through her journey with her skincare, she started working out, she lost weight, it just like tumbleweeded into other areas of her life to where she was able to like actively improve in different ways.
Yeah, yeah. I like how it's almost as if you are in my mind and you know where I'm gonna go next. Because I was gonna say, I strongly believe and think that skincare, goes beyond just what we apply, what we
Mhm.
topically apply.
Mhm.
And I think skincare has to do with, what is within us, what we are putting within us as well. So
Mhm.
can you tell us more about the connection between our diet and our everyday way of life? How does that connect to our skin?
So when it comes to your diet, it's connected to our skin because our skin, of course, is the largest organ. And so I tell people there is a thing called Chinese face mapping, to where there's certain areas of your face that's connected to certain organs in your body that'll let you know what's going on. So for example, your under eye area, if you get like breakouts or if it's dark, a lot of times it's like your kidney or your liver. Same with like your chin, typically it's hormonal. And the reason why your diet affects it is because it can trigger certain hormones in our body, which will show up on our skin. So for me, one of the reasons why I did have bad eczema growing up as a child is because I did eat a lot of dairy. I ate a lot of pork. I'm from Virginia. My family's from South Carolina. So I grew up eating like pig feet, chitlins, things of that nature, which is not good for you. However, that's.
Girl, I grew up eating
Yeah.
pork.
So yeah, I have southern roots. So we ate a lot of foods that wasn't healthy. And what may work for some people may not work for others. I have a very sensitive digestive system, so it took me to get in my 20s to learn that. And so that's part of the reason why I became a vegetarian, was because when I got into my skincare journey, I realized that nothing I did wouldn't work. So on top of the products that I was using and making for myself, I also had to like clean up my diet. And so I learned that, just simple like the greens, like eating vegetables, it oxidizes your skin. So it allows your blood circulation to just regulate more healthy. Your body can get more oxygen by just eating the greens, because you're detoxing, and all of that doesn't build up underneath the layers of your skin. Because a lot of times with acne, a lot of triggers like milk, fried foods, the processed food, all of that is just building up in your skin. And being that you can't get the oxygen, your body can't regulate the way that it needs to, that's how it manifests in your skin. And so I always tell people, like, with your skincare routine, it's just deeper than skin. It's deeper than the outer appearance. It really is like a reflection of what's going inside. So even when I get eczema flare ups, 9 times out of 10, I know either I'm eating crazy or there's something I'm not doing right, like internally, whether it's drinking water or taking certain herbs. And as soon as I like do all of that stuff, it just goes away. So
You know, I've been having this eczema flare up on my fingers, and I've never thought of it. I know that skincare has a connection with what we put, in our body, so how we move our body from day to day, which is exercise, some form of working out. It could be just a walk, But I never realized that this flare ups could be, because I'm like, what is happening? I haven't changed anything. Yeah, but I'm just noticing that I didn't think that it could be something I may have eaten, or haven't worked out in a while because of the accident that I got
yeah.
and I was involved in. And the doctor was like, okay, you can work out now, we have to wait. And then my two fingers have been flaring up a lot. Next time I'm like, what is happening? But things have changed. My body is okay, you are not working out. Walks for me is not enough for me, because my body does more than walk. So my
Got
body's
it.
used to more than
Yeah,
walk.
yeah.
I have to actually work out. No Pilates, no gym for me, like none of it. So that's
Yeah.
that could be,
Yeah.
It's a change.
Yeah, it is. And
Pilates.
small factors like that, lifestyle changes, all
Yeah.
of that goes into what alters your skin. And so if your body is used to being regulated in a certain way, because, working out is connected to our cortisol levels. Or so if your cortisol is high, like if your stress level is high and you work out, it releases that. But if you're not able to do it at the full capacity, it can show up in your skin. It can cause inflammation in your skin in a certain way. So that could, be a factor as well, because stress, all of those things manifest in our skin as well. So, like I always tell people, your nervous system or your cortisol level, those are like the two things that you also need to be mindful of too when it comes to your skincare journey. How stressed are you? Because that can cause acne as well. That causes inflammation in the body, which in turn causes inflammation in the skin. And for some people, it could be acne, it could be eczema, but either way, it's still a form of inflammation within the body that's going to show up in the skin.
Girl, I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that so much. Stress does show on our body. Just this week. This week I had this acne here. I mean, it's gone, but there's still a little bit of scarring. Just because I had 2 days, something went on 2 days, and I was so stressed about it, and it just showed. That stress was all right there. And also, when I look back in photos when I was young, in high school, my early years of high school and middle school, I realized that my skin looked better, appeared better, more refreshed, more supple than and as at that time my mother was alive. But after my mother died, I was comparing the photos, and I realized that there was stress in there was grief in there. All of that was showing up on my skin. Like, even though I was in high school, so I could see like dark circles, because I was so depressed. And all of it was showing, on my skin. So what I'm getting from you is that our mental state and emotional state, and also our physical state, does have a significant effect on our skin.
It does.
Correct?
Yeah, it does. And I mean, similar to like you, I lost my mother November 2022. And 2 months before my mother passed away, I got divorced from a high school sweetheart.
Oh my
So
God.
in early 2023, I was
Oh
like,
my
not
God.
in a good space, but my skin was showing. And so I documented it. Like, I remember going through the videos and looking at my skin, and I'm just like, wow, it's such a difference compared to then till now. But even prior to all of that, like 2021 was kind of like a weird space for me as well, because that's when me and my ex-husband were like going through our separation and things of that nature. And
Mhm.
I had so much inflamed acne all over my face.
Huh.
And when I tell people that, they're like, I just never would have guessed. But I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, because of the job that I do and the way my skin looks now, but I'm like, I was in such a stressed state that it showed up in my body. And so my skin was so inflamed. My eczema would like show up, it would go away. So that's what made me learn to like prioritize also regulating my stress as well.
Mm.
So that's something that I work through daily, especially being a business owner as well. It's very stressful. So I'm having to learn how to like the importance of regulating stress. So
Mm.
that's also another factor that I look into with my clients as well. When I do talk to them, like, what's going on? Because the thing about it is,
You asked me that a lot
yeah, because
when we made. You asked me that.
yeah, because people like they're like, why are you asking me this? And I tell them I'm not trying to be nosy, but
Yeah.
all of these things factor into the health of your
Mhm.
skin. And so when I'm asking you, I'm trying to pinpoint what's causing the problem.
Mhm.
And I think that when you as a person can also like be self-aware enough to know like, hey, I'm stressed out.
Yeah.
So maybe I should try to calm down a little bit, then maybe that can help you with the skin condition that may show up for you as well.
Mm.
So it's really about self-awareness and like guiding you to be more self-aware about what's going on so that way you can
Yeah.
also pinpoint why your skin is behaving the way it is, because there's
Yeah.
always a reason.
Yeah.
It just never does it for no reason. So I
Yeah.
think when we can figure out what it is, we can better go through the process and journey a little bit more better.
Mhm.